Good evening, Lake Orion. What a night tonight. You know, Sammy's not here, but I'm bringing back somebody. I'm your host, Anthony, and I am with Ian.
Hey, welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ian. Legs screwed back on tight, so we're ready to rock and roll now. And Ant, there are football weekends and there are football weekends. This was a football weekend.
For sure.
I mean, starting off with Thursday, which we'll touch on later in the show. Friday, you know, there's some high school action and whatnot. But
And
not
Saturday, too.
Right, not the big dogs. But then Saturday, college football. Rivalry week was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
And locally, there was a really great game. Now, I know it didn't end the way the locals may have wanted, right?
Right.
But in terms of a great game, Michigan-OSU was a great game. A classic.
Yes, it was.
Classic?
It's still a classic between both Ohio State and Michigan, or as Michigan fans call them, Ohio.
Right.
But you look at how that...
Wait. Let's not touch on the game yet. Let's
Okay.
touch on before the game.
Okay.
Did you think Michigan had a shot? Did you
No.
think they had a shot?
No, I said last week on the show that Michigan would lose by 50 to Ohio State.
By 50.
Yes, by 50.
Well, I didn't think they'd lose by that much, but I didn't think they'd score. You know, I didn't think they'd
Well, their
stop.
offense was terrible. Their offense has been terrible.
It has been terrible,
Their
right?
defense has been vulnerable. Ohio State's offense is very explosive,
Right.
very dangerous.
Right. They can run, they can pass, they got a quarterback can do both.
And Urban Meyer is one of the best.
They got Urban Meyer, you know. But it was a beautiful day in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
The big house was packed. You know, they were raring to go. A lot of Buckeye fans there, though, unfortunately. But, you know, it came out guns a-blazing right from the beginning. It was a shootout.
Well, if you look at how the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State, you know, you tend to get up for rivalry games.
Right.
I'll use a high school example, like Lake Orion and Clarkson get up for each other. Oxford gets up for Lake Orion. Michigan gets up for Ohio State. No offense to Michigan State, but Michigan gets up to Ohio State more. Michigan feels
so?
like...
You think
well,
so?
Michigan tends to view Michigan State as the little brother.
I know, but what's the record the past 5 years?
Michigan State's been dominant. There's no doubt about that. But Michigan gets up for Ohio State. Michigan has not.
It's in their blood.
They haven't been successful against Ohio State the last few years, except for one win. But they haven't been very successful against Ohio State. And you know, and obviously Ohio State's undefeated. Great chance to knock them off. But you gotta wonder, you know, Ohio State also has BCS title hopes, and they're thinking about national championship. This is a trap game for us. We don't get this, we're not going to be in the BCS title game.
Right. Let's go through the game, some key moments real quick. First half, there was that brawl.
Yeah.
Right. Ohio State, the player
Flipped the bird.
Sure, to the crowd. That was exciting. As a guy that doesn't really care. Well, I mean, I care. I want Michigan to win, obviously. Don't like Ohio. Don't like Ohio State. I love seeing that kind of stuff, though. Call me sick. Call me what you want, but it just adds to it.
It adds to the rivalry, no doubt. That, you know, when you get very emotional with the crowd, you get very emotional, very intense. Football's a very emotional game, whether it be in college or be in high school or be in the pros. It's a very emotional game, and when players tend to, you know, their emotions tend to speak out. They tend to speak out louder than words.
Right.
And we saw that happen with the first half in terms of the fight and in terms of the ejections.
Right.
And there's no doubt. I think that those 3 Ohio State players will be suspended for the...
Well, the dude that flipped him off definitely should be.
He should be.
You
There's
know.
no doubt about that. I mean, I don't care how, you know, you just do not do that to a crowd. You just don't do that to anybody. That is the ultimate version of disrespect to a crowd. You just don't do that.
Right.
I've seen teams, whether it be in college or be in high school, a la Clarkston and Dearborn Fortson, both have done it in the past. They've given the bird to Lake Orion fans. I've seen, and I mean, it's just like, you just don't do that. That is disrespectful. That is embarrassing. And,
it is, but
I mean, that shows your team in a negative light.
It definitely does, and it's uncalled for. But it shows how much
you care about in a rivalry game.
Exactly, it shows how much Michigan fans got under their skin, right? The Michigan players got under their skin.
Players and fans, because
to act that irrationally, right? Let's move ahead to the second half. Third quarter, Michigan bypassed the field goal, right? Thoughts on that call? It would have been about a 31-yard field goal with a backup kicker. What was it, 4th and...
I would say dangerous risk there.
Right.
But I also would say, like, a backup kicker who hasn't really proven himself. I don't know if you put him in that situation against Ohio State. You probably should put him in a game like where, okay, it's like a team that's not very good.
Right, okay.
You put him in that to give him confidence.
Let's fast forward now to the end where everybody's talking about the call to go for 2. Your thoughts?
I think that Brady Hoke, in many ways, made the right call to go for 2, but I think the play call as a whole was bad.
Real bad.
It was really bad. I don't know who decided. Was it Munger, Hoke? Who decided that?
Borges.
Borges, yeah.
Borges.
Who decided that play call? That's the question that we wonder.
Right.
Ultimately, responsibility rests on Brady Hoke.
Sure.
But Brady Hoke made the right decision, go for 2. He wanted to go for the win. If they went to overtime, there's no doubt Ohio State might have beat Michigan.
Now, okay, both were running all over each other.
Right.
Both were moving the ball with ease.
Yep.
Do you think overtime would have been the same thing, or do you think one of the teams would have gotten a key stop?
One of the teams probably got a key stop.
Which you think would have been OSU?
Yes.
Okay.
No offense to Michigan.
No, hey, they are the better team, albeit they didn't look much better.
No.
Right?
No.
I mean, they ran the ball a lot better, but other than that, I didn't see a whole lot.
Right.
Defensively, they did some things that just made you wonder why we're ranked number 3. That being said, they're now number 2.
Yep.
And we'll touch on that a little later.
Right.
Because there can be some implications about Ohio State being number 2.
Yep.
Let's get to the Iron Bowl, all right? War Eagle versus Roll Tide.
I picked Alabama.
Did you?
Yeah, Sammy picked Auburn.
Really?
Yep.
Sammy, who do you pick to win on Thanksgiving, by the way?
We both picked the Packers, didn't we? Yeah.
Thanks. That didn't work out so well. Thank God.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Auburn or the Iron Bowl. I don't know how much of that was got to be the most shockingest finish I've ever seen.
Number 1 team.
Yeah,
Right? You throw that on top.
56-yard field goal.
Ran
You
it
have
back
all
109.
linemen. Yeah, he ran back 109. And, I mean, you have all linemen for Alabama out there. Do you really think a lineman's going to catch? No.
He should have been more well aware of the situation, though, because he made it through touched by 1 or 2 people.
Correct.
Barely touched. All that room, there should have been a little more contact,
the only
right?
person that tackled him was his own player.
Right.
And that was a celebration tackle.
Right. That all being said, Auburn won the football game, right? They were at home.
Yep.
Alabama missed 4 field goals in the game, which killed them.
Yep.
Is Auburn better than Alabama? As a football team as a whole, neutral field?
I don't think so.
Do you think Alabama's still the best team in the country?
I think Alabama's still the standard bearer of, but right now, Auburn is benefiting from beating Alabama.
Right. In the polls, they sure are.
They're benefiting from it. And if you look at, they played each other in best of 3. Alabama wins 2 out of 3.
Alabama versus Florida State, neutral field. Who wins?
Alabama. I think Alabama's just
same scenario, only Alabama versus OSU. Who wins?
Alabama's just more talented than Ohio State.
This is where my problem. They lost the game. They lost the football game.
Now Alabama's no longer considered for a BCS national championship.
Right. This is why we need a playoff. This is why we're getting next year. right? Because you can still have, it's only 4 teams.
True.
But these polls and rankings, Alabama's still the best team in the country. But what a finish, right?
That's going to go down to one of the best finishes of all time.
Especially because they were the number 1 team.
That's
and
one, but I mean, it's
how bad
the
Auburn
rivalry.
was last year, in-state rivalry, it's just it had everything.
That's all they talk about in Alabama is the Iron Bowl. You hear it
That's
for
all they got.
365.
That's all they got. They don't got no pro teams.
Alabama's got to hear it for the people in Tuscaloosa's got to hear it for 365.
Yep.
From the people of Auburn.
Right.
You saw the tape. You saw those trees. They were with toilet paper.
Yep. Well, hey, it's fun stuff.
Oh, of course.
It's fun stuff. Before, we're going to talk Lions. We're going to talk a little MSU, OSU. Anything else college football-wise from the weekend we didn't hit? Big moment.
Oregon got a good win. You imagine Texas A&M versus Texas in a possible bowl game?
That'd be great.
That'd be something.
That'd be real great.
That would be interesting.
Right.
What about Michigan? Do you think Michigan goes to the Little Caesar Bowl?
Can they turn it down?
They could.
Is that legal? I don't know. I don't know the rules.
I don't know.
If they can turn it down, they'll turn it down.
I think it'd be interesting.
Isn't it called the Motor City Bowl, though, now?
Little Caesars Bowl.
It's still called that?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just don't think I don't think Michigan would like that very much.
No, but I mean, they get invited to a bowl game, they take the bowl game bid.
I think they'll get a bigger game.
Yeah, they'll probably
Personally.
go Arlington.
Personally. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to hit on the football team from Detroit right here on Between Taorminas. Hey, welcome back to Between Taorminas here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Thank you so much for joining us. And thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here.
You're darn welcome.
And Sammy's not here.
That's good. It's nice and quiet. No one at home has to adjust their volume,
I don't think
Going
so.
down for him, up for us, It's like thumbs get sore doing all that.
I guess.
Give the people a break once in a while, Let them bark on the mic at the high school game. All right, Ant, the Lions kind of showed up on Thursday, right?
Kind of, yes.
I mean, you started watching that game. What were your thoughts after that first quarter?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I mean, the fumbles, the interceptions.
Yep, the Lions were as horrible as can be in the first quarter, in the first half, yet found a way to be up on the Packers.
Well, why I kind of think that first half or the first quarter or whatever was fool's gold, the Lions were moving the ball real easily.
Yep.
They were just
Doing it at will.
fumbling and throwing it to the other team, which has burned them in the past,
That's
especially
true.
against Tampa Bay.
And Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, it almost killed them against Dallas.
Yep.
But that being said, the Packers looked terrible.
Yes,
They did not
looked-
look like a pro football team.
No. And that was shocking because if you look at it looks like the Packers are extremely dependent on Aaron Rodgers. They're extremely, and that's a shame because if you look at the Packers, they're not supposed. When did they become reliable on one guy?
It shows you how important the quarterback is. But that being said, their defense where was it?
It was terrible.
It was not there.
No,
So-
Reggie Bush had a great game. Le'Veon Bell had a great game.
No,
Well, good game.
you're saying the wrong guy.
Yeah.
You said Le'Veon.
Oh,
Joik Bell.
Joik Bell. Excuse me.
Yes, this is
Forgive
not the
me on
Steelers. That's all
Oh,
right.
Excuse me.
I'm nitpicking. I apologize. No, overall good game.
But good games, yes.
Especially by the defense.
Oh, yeah. Well, the defense had something to prove. Do you notice something when the Lions play? Everybody calls them a dirty team.
Mm-hmm.
They all call out the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And what does the defensive line do? Prove it. Proves they shut people up.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But the question is, the Lions, are they consistent? Are they consistent? We have not seen that this year.
I will say this. Watching their offense can move the ball pretty consistently. But they turn it over.
They turn it over so much. It's ridiculous.
How do you shore that up? How do you fix that?
Well, you tell Reggie Bush not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford's got to be more accurate with his passes.
Is it an
Reggie
accuracy?
Reggie Bush called for a team-only, players-only meeting, and Stafford declined that.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any unity on offense?
I think there definitely is. It's just they both come from different backgrounds a little bit. You know, Reggie Bush, more of a high-profile guy, says more things to the media. You know, he's a little more honest, a little more open. Matt Stafford is not at all. He says what he's supposed to say and he moves on. He doesn't really open up too much. He doesn't show his emotions to the media. We don't know how they are behind the doors, the closed doors.
Right.
So did they have a team meeting? Probably, maybe.
Probably.
You know,
closed doors.
Right. They don't have to talk about that with the media
Right.
because then that brings up more questions, more distractions. You know, Jim Schwartz doesn't talk about things like that, and so I think that's passed down.
Right, but now the question is, how consistent are the Lions going to be? They go into Philadelphia, very hostile place.
And they've got some confidence now. Philly
they
does,
do.
finally.
Yes, they do.
Right?
Do you notice something? I noticed some strange thing. The Lions have a chance to help the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a chance to help the Lions.
How so?
Because the Cowboys play the Bears at Chicago.
Detroit, do they need help anymore?
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing Chicago get another loss.
I'd love to see them go 0-16.
I'd like to see Green Bay get another loss.
Yeah, both of them lose every game. I'd love that.
That'd be great. It would further help. It further helps both sides if you look at it.
It does, but we can't rely on that. You know.
No,
You know,
but
the
the Lions got to keep winning games. That's what it is.
They've squandered some opportunities.
They have.
They should not have lost to Tampa.
Right.
They should not have lost to Cincy.
Right.
They should not have lost to Arizona, you could say even. But they did. They are their record. But somehow, some way, they're still first place.
They're still first place in the NFC. They could possibly get a home game out of this.
About 3-4 weeks ago, you look at the rest of their schedule, you think Baltimore stinks, good game. New York stinks, great. Philly stinks. These are three teams that are on their schedule that are not
bad.
Baltimore's a wild card team currently, so they're playing for something. Philly's in first place. They're definitely playing for something.
They're fighting with Dallas for first place.
And New York is just, you know, they're trying to hold on.
They're New York.
So they're not gonna lie down and die.
Right.
So looking ahead, they're 7-5 right now. Okay, they have 4 more games left. Philly, Baltimore, New York, Minnesota. What's their record? Those 4 games.
I'm gonna say they're gonna go 10-8.
10-6.
10-6.
So they're gonna win 3 more games,
I
lose
think they'll
1.
win. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Philadelphia is going to be challenging. They got New York at home. They got Baltimore at home. And I think they can beat Minnesota at Minnesota.
You would hope so. This game against Philly is going to be a great test.
It's going to be a great test.
Looking forward to it.
Where they're at. And it's the most important thing. It's where they're at.
You know,
and can they get a big road win? Because
they have gotten some big road wins.
Right. But in the playoffs, they're going to have to eventually prove it on the road.
Well, if they win the division, they get to host a game.
Right. Against a very good team.
It will be a good team. It probably will be, I don't know who right now.
Could be Baltimore again.
Well, Baltimore's in the AFC.
Well, yeah, you're right. My bad.
Yeah. But key is just take care of business, right?
Yep.
Take care of the football.
Yep.
Play some defense.
Yep, that's all it is.
Okay. Well, let's, the NFL is an interesting scenario because a lot of the playoff teams are just mediocre right now. You know what I mean?
Lions got a chance to win this thing.
Well, the NFC is a little tougher than the AFC.
Right.
You look at the second wild card team in the AFC is Baltimore at 6-6. That's not good.
Nope.
So it's an interesting year. There's no clear cut
You're right.
There's no clear-cut team.
Right. No
you know, you think
team.
Denver's unbeatable, they've lost 2. You think Kansas City's unbeatable, they've lost 3.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of questions are going to be answered tonight with New Orleans and Seattle.
That'll be interesting to see how that goes because Seattle's got one of the best defenses. That's a very tough place to play. New Orleans has got Drew Brees.
One of the best offenses.
One of the best offenses, too.
But it's outdoors.
Their defense, yeah. But the question's going to be the New Orleans defense. Can they hold them?
What's your read on that game tonight? Go ahead, give me a prediction. It's a big game.
I think Seattle will win 17-13.
17-13 Seattle.
Yeah, I think Seattle's defense could shut down Drew Brees.
Okay, let's hope Saints defense shut down Marshawn Lynch for my fantasy sake. Sometimes you got to be a little
optimistic.
Yeah, you got to be optimistic. All right, well, that about caps the NFL for the week. You know, more stories will unfold as the days go by, and we'll touch on that. But when we come back, we're going to discuss the Michigan State-Ohio State game this weekend, and he's got to yell at some people. So stay tuned.
Hey, Sammy, Anthony, and Ian, this is Dan Miller from Fox 2 News and the voice of the Detroit Lions. Congratulations on 2 years. A lot of shows don't make it that long, but you guys are obviously doing the right thing, so way to go. Keep it going. Keep doing what you do, and we look forward to talking to you again next year when you hit another anniversary. Until then, we'll talk to you soon.
Hey, this is Mickey York from Fox Sports Detroit. When I want to get the inside scoop on local sports, I watch Between Taorminas or Fox Sports Detroit.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to the program. Real quick, Michigan State, Ohio State down in Indy. Who you got?
I got Michigan State winning over Ohio State.
Cool.
I think Michigan State's defense is too much for Ohio State. I think Michigan State's their offense has gotten a lot better. I think that Ohio State is in over their heads. Michigan exposed Ohio State. I don't think that they're going to have an answer for Michigan State. Michigan State's a lot better than Michigan, and if Ohio State don't figure things out, they're going to be in trouble, and I think Michigan State wins it, goes to the Rose Bowl.
What good defense has Ohio State played yet?
I don't think Ohio State's ever
None.
seen this defense.
No.
None.
No. I think they're screwed.
I think so, too.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we saw what a team can do to Ohio State's defense, right?
Yep.
Even Connor Cook,
Yep.
been a little bit mediocre. I think he can walk up and down the field when he needs to. I don't know if it's going to be a shootout or anything,
Right.
but we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, he's got to control the offense. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I
run
think
the ball, ground and pound,
Michigan
baby.
State's defense is going to pound the living heck out of Ohio State.
Let's hope so.
That defense, if Ohio State's offensive line is going to be tested. I don't want to sound cocky, but Michigan State, I think, is the best defense in the country.
They're close.
I think they are.
They haven't played anyone yet either, right? They haven't played a huge test. This is going to be the two best teams each other has played.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Michigan didn't play, or State didn't play Wisconsin or anything,
Right.
you know, but they took care of business against Nebraska and Iowa and Michigan. But overall, the Big Ten's been a little weak. But these are the two teams, top 10 teams in Indy. It's going to be a great game.
It's going to be great.
And,
I think Michigan State's going to pull it off.
you know, even if Michigan State loses, they can still go to the Rose Bowl.
Exactly.
Which is kind of stinks. You know, I'm glad they get to go to the Rose Bowl. They might if they lose.
Yeah.
But if they win, they guarantee it.
Yep.
Just stinks they had to lose to Notre Dame earlier.
I know. That was terrible.
They could be playing for something a little more.
What makes it worse was Kyle Wood was at that game. He had something to do with it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know.
That hurts.
I know.
All right. Well, I got the same result as you. MSU winning. I like it.
I agree.
All right. You've got a laundry list of people you wanna crucify here, so get to it. Do your thing.
All right. Well, got to do my call-outs this week, so I'm going to do my fedora. So my first call-out involves Lake Orion. Lake Orion, why?
Ooh, wait.
No, not Oakland, Lake
There it
Orion.
is.
Thank you. Why? Simple. Look, you know, it bothers me in football that Clarkson won the state championship. Lake Orion, you got a lot to prove, not just in football, but basketball, volleyball, hockey, track, cross country. I mean, soccer, all the other sports. right now, it seems like, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, Clarkston seems to be the top sports town. Can't let that happen. When I was here in high school, Lake Orion was the top team. What happened? How did this happen? Now we got Clarkston winning state championship in football. How does that happen? Lake Orion, I know we can get our act together. I know we can fix this. It's going to be up to you guys whether or not the responsibility, whether or not we want to make things right. Lake Orion, let's get it done. Please. I know that I'm committed to it. I hope you are as well. My next call up, Oakland. Why? Simple. 1-7 in the men. That's bothersome. 4 of those games were winnable games. Women, I know it's going to be a tough year, but still, 1 win. Good Niagara team, but still. Oakland, we can do this. We can do this. Get it together. I know you guys can get it together. You got great coaches, great people around you, great programs. We got to get it together before Horizon League play starts. The Horizon League is not going to be very easy this year. We got some very, very good teams in the Horizon League. The record, just keep working hard and the record will work itself out. Oakland, let's get it done. My last call out involves a man that certainly deserves to get called out. Joe Velez.
Oh.
Look at that face.
Look at that mug.
Look at that mug. Ian, what do you think of that mug?
Scary.
It's scary. Look at how vicious that thing is.
I know.
Isn't it evil?
Looks like the bully wants to steal someone's lunch.
It looks like he wants to steal someone's candy. Why? Simple. Look, you're acting evil. You don't say hi to people. You refuse to be, you say you don't want to get called out.
Oops.
You got called out. It's not a bad thing to get called out. It's actually a good thing to get called out. Third, look at that face. That face makes, oh my goodness gracious. Ian, that face is just sad. It's sad for the youth of America. Look at how that face intimidates people. Do you want people to intimidate people? I don't.
I don't want a face like that walking around.
Oh, I don't either.
Not in public.
Joe Velez, do better.
Where'd you find that, Jim?
From Facebook.
Facebook?
What else?
You should call him out for having those photos on Facebook. Public domain, Joe.
I know. What's up with that?
Wow. Well, you know what? Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Yeah. It's kind of nice, kind of relaxing, without.
Sammy will return next week.
Oh, well.
We all know that.
I think I have physical therapy next week. Sorry, can't make it.
Ian, that this has been due for about a month and a half.
What's
all
that?
3 of us back together next week.
It would be nice.
All 3 of us back together next week.
Let's hope so.
I think it'll happen.
I think it'll happen too.
I think it'll happen.
All right. I like that. Well, anything else you want to say?
Lake Orion, have a great night. God bless you. I love you. Take care. Love you always.
You look like you need a stogie when you say stuff like that. Got the fedora on. I'll bring you a cigar next week too. No?
Have a great night between Taorminas.